Good morning. It is 11:11 in the morning.
Make a wish.
We're tired. We have to go home today, but our flights are not until tonight. Yeah, we just got our stuff. We just finished packing our stuff, and I'm just really exhausted. I just hope I can finish these last two Gatorades before we leave this place. Yeah. So, your thoughts on the weekend?
It was a very productive weekend, to say the least. I've been very thankful to everybody here at Babs for being incredibly wonderful all weekend. My wonderful panelists that we got to have on board this weekend. There's so many to name of you this weekend, but know who you are, and I really appreciate everything you guys did to make these panels and these events all wonderful this weekend at Babs. I love this convention. It's my home con, and I was extremely thankful to be brought back as a community guest this weekend, even though I apologize this morning that my voice sounds like it's so shot. It's really unbelievable, but
yeah, my voice is equally gone, as you can probably tell. I thought that the weekend was fun. Some parts were a little bit more exhausting than others. For example, the late night panels. I cannot believe they scheduled us for that 2 nights in a row. But overall, I had a good time. It was good to be back in California. But I'd love to explore other parts of California. I was glad we got to explore San Francisco on Wednesday. And it's a pretty fun city. It has its high points, and it has its share of problems too. So I'm not denying that. So but yeah, I had a fun weekend. I just wish it was a little bit cheaper around here.
I do apologize. Us Californians, we don't come here cheap.
I don't understand why it's so expensive around here. This is one of the most expensive states in the union, and I'm just glad I'm not living here.
As someone who's lived here for 27 years, I don't miss living here anymore.
and last year when I arrived in California, I actually told my ex-girlfriend that hey, if we were to go to California, we would only come to California to visit, but I would not recommend living here, at least not now. It's just so damn expensive, and this was also back when the fuel prices were just sky high, and they're still pretty high, but they're down from what they were last year, about down almost $2-3 almost. But that's California for you. So yeah, I think my favorite panel of the weekend was probably my little match game. Mm-hmm. I didn't expect to enjoy myself as much as I did, but I think really that what really added to it was Joe being on it. I think he added quite a bit to it, and Lytle, of course, being drunk off his ass. I think I'm not sure how drunk he was, but I think that added a little bit of flavor to the panel. So thank you, Lytle. Also to our other panelists, Nate. Who else was on? I'm blanking.
I can get you a list here. Don't worry. That's why I make a list of these things.
It's a good. We're putting you on our list. The BABSCon panelist list.
So, to give you a run total of everybody that we had this weekend on our panel.
So you had 19 different people?
So we had Lytle the Lemur, Tristan, Looney, Nate, Tara, Princess Deadpool, Iron Captain, Hibiscus Stitch, Melody Husky, DeWilsonator, Button, ACLP Films, Gobi Raptor, Joe, and
Don't forget Nami.
Bolt, Nami, and Whirlwind. So we had quite a full house list of people on our panels
I see
this
what you
weekend.
did there.
See what I did there?
I see what you did there, yes. After closing ceremonies, actually after about an hour after closing ceremonies, right before we came up here, Nami actually drew this. You can't see it very well. It's more faded than it's faded since yesterday. But yeah, she Nami told me that I'm just going to use they. They drew Twilight's cutie mark on the inside of my wrist. As I said, it's faded since yesterday, but I really do appreciate it. It's good. It was great to see Nami again, and I think their reaction to the We're Not Candy PSA during Pony Life is Magic was just amazing.
I was not expecting that at all, and that just made the panel even more
entertaining.
More entertaining. But speaking of Nami, so folks, you can also see she drew me.
Phyllis.
She drew Starlight's plant Phyllis on my arm here for obvious reasons, and I really appreciate that. Even though it kind of looks more faded than Tony Stark in the Avengers.
Oh. But just for the record, this is not permanent. This is pen.
Yes.
So
it's gonna wash off of me.
So don't worry, Mom. I didn't actually get a real tattoo. Don't worry about it. I did ask Nami if it was non-permanent, and they said yes. So I went with it, and it actually came out really nice. But I wish it kind of lasted a bit longer. But that's pen. That's pen ink for you. It's meant to really wash off of skin. But I gotta thank them for doing this and for being on our panel.
It will not be the last time we have Nami on the panel.
Absolutely not. No. And again, it all depends on scheduling. I mean, scheduling really kind of worked out this weekend, and so hopefully they said they're coming to Everfree, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not Windy City.
No.
Well.
But then again, they told me that they weren't coming to BABSCon, and then they
changed at the last minute.
At the last minute, so sometimes our Lord has mysterious ways of working His way.
Well. We'll see, but yeah, I can't wait to see them for Everfree. In fact, I actually just booked my flight for Everfree. $757 and 75 cents later.
And you're coming in on American.
It's the same song, third verse as you put it. Yep. So, and Windy City is less than 2 months away?
We're 52 days away, and applications just closed.
Yeah, and we're closed. So, and, you can't submit any applications at the time of this recording. Depending on when I get it up, it could be held right before I go off to Windy City. For all I care, heck, it could be, I could get this up right away. I don't know how long I'm going to take. Work. That's kind of how it was for me when I was trying to get my HarmonyCon vlogs up. It was a freaking pain in the ass. Just trying to manage time between work and working on vlogs and running a cartoon night event and other personal stuff. So, I wish it was as fast as Race Best, but now he is dealing with scheduling stuff, not just working on vlogs, but just coming to conventions. Hopefully we see him at Windy City, but he's missed 2 conventions now. One that he was at last year, and another that he usually comes to, which is this one. So I really hope everything's okay there. I mean, if I understand personal stuff, but I never really count on Race or Saber to really miss a convention, let alone this one.
Mm-hmm. But so you got to remember that these guys have been in this fandom, and I have
for more than a decade now.
More than a decade, so they have a lot of conventions under their belt. So maybe sometime that they just wanted to maybe
take some time to themselves.
Take a little time for themselves, because I know Race and Sarah want to do like stuff outside of con work, because usually
that's been taking up most of their time for the past. For more than 10 years. So and the pandemic didn't really help. They couldn't really do anything. And really anyone couldn't do anything. So if they want to do personal stuff, they've been posting pictures on Twitter and stuff. Them going on trips. I think they went to. They go to the Grand Canyon, I think, was one of their trips.
Yeah, like maybe a few weeks ago, from what I read here on Twitter. But it just seems like that they just want to get out a little bit more, because it just seemed like for me personally, it's between personal life and then con work, it takes up a lot of what you do, and sometimes it is okay to break away from a convention or two once in a while, but considering they've been around the fandom for so long now, you're wondering now if this.
Well, for most of the time they've been part of most of it.
Right.
But at this point, since I think Race got into it like 2011, 2012, and he's been part of he's like one of those OGers pretty much. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would call myself an OGer, considering that I got into this like 2012, 2013, right as season 3 was coming around. But I consider like the OG sort of bronies maybe season 1 or 2, and I was kind of a. I don't want to say late bloomer. That's not really fair, but
no, I'm the late bloomer of the group. I came in 2016, so
right.
I'm the late bloomer here.
But yeah, I've been around almost as long as he is. Probably a year less than he has. Or I'm talking about Race. Race and Saber than they have. So I just. If they're not at least at Everfree Northwest, then I'm going to start to ask questions, I'm going to start that there's probably something wrong, because I would not, because I know that they weren't at a couple Everfrees, like for example 2015 that was my first Everfree, but they weren't at that one, but they were at pretty much all of them, like at least the in-person stuff since 2016, I believe.
They didn't appear in 2018.
Oh.
So.
Okay. Most of. I wouldn't really count on them to really pass up on Everfree, because that's one of the top ones.
In my opinion, Everfree is becoming like. Sort of like the new BronyCon on the West Coast, because
But it's not as big as BronyCon. BronyCon was massive,
right?
And that was really the go-to one for everyone.
Okay, mini BronyCon.
Yeah. So and of course the name really spoke for itself. And it needed a big space, because it was the one. It was the first one. And so, yeah, and it really kind of took away from, I guess, the smaller ones. Now people can go to the smaller ones, but the problem is travel being as expensive as it is, especially to Seattle, that kind of hinders on, the desire to really do this. I'm even lucky to even be able to do this. But the reason why I do want to do this is because I like getting to see I like getting to see people, and it's really my, how do I put it? It's really my, I guess my niche. Really, an opportunity for me to get, I guess, physically connect with people. Whereas most of the time, I don't really have very many friends, quote unquote, that I know close to where I live, and so I've kind of lost touch with people from high school, and I just feel I don't really feel. I'm sorry. I'm getting images of you saying, "Jack, paint me like one of your French girls." God damn it. But yeah, it's I don't really feel a connection with any people that I went to in high school. I didn't really connect with people when I was in college either, because I guess what's the proper term? Introverted?
Yeah, introverted.
Yeah. At least with people who I'm not familiar with, and there was a lot of people who I was not familiar with, in college. And really the people who I felt the most connection with was in fact in this fandom, and so that's why I feel most comfortable here and talking with people in this community, especially people like you, Taylor, and yeah, it's hard not being around those kinds of people, or not having people close to where you live. I mean, I know of a couple, but I don't really go out like to really see them. I mean,
Yeah, I share the same exact sentiment. How do I put this? Like, I have not talked to anybody I grew up with in either of my school years in like elementary or in high school. Like
elementary, that's another one. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was I was in fourth grade. I was taken out of the public school system, put into the private school system, for kids with learning disabilities, and I think it was a good step for me, because my parents didn't feel like that because this was around my diagnosis of Asperger's, ADHD, and so on. It was I didn't know any better, but my parents didn't really feel like that the public school system wasn't really doing. Oh wow! Look at the time. It's 11:30. We only got 3 minutes. But yeah, my parents didn't really feel like that the public school system was really helping me much, really, as far as my diagnosis was concerned. So they decided to really to really take me out of that, and and put me in and I guess. Especially when I say special schools for kids with learning disabilities, with this special type of curriculum, I guess if you will, and I think that really helped me. But honestly, as far as connecting with people, since that time, both in public school and middle and high school, it's I just didn't really connect with those kind of people because I think mainly because they're not really they're not part of this community, and I connect with people the most in this community, or people who share similar interests as I do. So I mean it's that's just how my brain was wired, I guess.
Yeah, and as I was saying, like, I've not talked to anybody since I graduated from high school. Like, I always struggled to find a group of people that I would connect with,
Yeah.
and majority of the part, I just never did. And, you know, it's still coming off that I had personal issues with my stepfather and going through a very difficult period in time. I'm not trying to go into detail on everything that's happened, like, prior in my life, but, you know, folks, I'm not going to lie to you. I was a very shy kid, like, back in my day. Like, you know, I struggled to make friends because I wasn't sure how to approach people, and, you know, for the most part, it really kind of bummed me out because I wanted to make friendships. I wanted to, you know, be a part of stuff, but during that time phrase, it was like, it's like I'm stuck in a loop here. Like, I can't seem to get myself out of the hamster wheel. And then my friend tells me about the show called My Little Pony, which I think majority of you on this channel should probably know at this point. But, so it was in 2016, and I told the story like countless times, but, you know, at one point I was like debating whether or not that should I even be here right now? Like, what purpose do I have right now in life? And my friend told me, hey, you need to watch the show called My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Now, at the time, I was like, oh, this has got to be something for little girls or whatnot. And he said, no, just trust me on this one. Just watch a few episodes.
Trust me on this one.
Bro, just trust me on this one. And so I went home and DVR'd a couple episodes, and after like 3 to 4 episodes,
You were hooked.
I was instantly hooked. Like, you know, I just never imagined my life would turn around in like 360 overnight because of pastel ponies.
Pastel-colored horses, yeah.
Pastel-colored horses. And getting to be a part of this community and going to conventions and having more people, having a quadruple list of friends now than I ever did in all my school years it's a huge blessing, and I'm incredibly grateful to be a part of this community. This fandom it's what's keeping my sanity, and it's what's keeping me alive right now because of this. If I never found this fandom, I honestly don't know where I would be right now. So I still thank everybody who's supported me and, you know, has come along our journey. I'm just very grateful for everything, and I appreciate every single one of you for the love and support you've given to not only myself, but to Red Card and everybody in this fandom that looks after one another, because we're not just friends here, and we're just not acquaintances here. We're all a second family here, and, you know, the times we get to spend together are great, but the days when we have to depart and go back to real life are the most difficult.
Speaking of sanity, how much do you have left?
None.
Also, we have a friend who's one of the moderators in BABSCon. His name is Temu. Temu is trending on Twitter. We love you, Temu. Ooh. Speaking of sanity, how much do I drive you to drink?
The way I go these days, I do not know how. That's just how my brain works. I think Thoth, thank you very much for this. I think I've developed too much of you in me right now, because we do so many panels for a convention now, and we wonder, what is life?
What is life? So anyway, I started blasting. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm still trying to build up my energy.
Nikki, Gokin, we hate you. You did this to us. You did. God damn it. Man. But yeah, that's That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Mm-hmm. And then we get to do it all over again.
In Chicago.
In Chicago.
Chicago. I forget the lyrics. I don't know the lyrics at all.
But again, going back to what you were saying about my little match game earlier. So, no lie, folks. That was the panel I was the most kind of worried about for this weekend, because I didn't have a lot of time to prep a lot of things for this one. But it's a miracle I managed to run it the way I did on Sunday morning of the convention. And I think this panel's got so much potential in it to have a lot of great people on board. And, now that you seem to be pretty hooked on what to do now for this panel. And, afterward, I was running through a lot of names that we could potentially hopefully have on board to make this panel even better. So stay tuned, folks, because my little match game might be coming to a con near you in the near future.
I didn't expect to have as much fun as I did on that, despite how tired I was.
Well, when you're having fun, the tiredness somehow goes away somehow.
Yeah, but then it comes back and it hits you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but by the way, you owe me $9.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I got you covered.
All right. It was kind of a shame that it was just the two of us. I mean, it felt kind of lonely in here, honestly. I mean, not that you're not a delight, to be with. It's the more the merrier.
Right, of course, and for Winnie City, we're gonna have
a full house.
I see.
We've made that reference too many times this week, and I think because might be because we miss Bob Saget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, rest in peace, Bob.
And he passed away. What, like right before HarmonyCon last year? Or when did he die?
Literally, he. No, you're right. He actually passed away right before HarmonyCon last year.
Not Bob Seger, stupid. So
Bob Seger and the Silver Bowl Band.
It was January 9th, 2022.
So yeah, right before HarmonyCon last year.
And he's from, of all places, he was born in Philadelphia. So how about that? Another life gone too soon. He was 65, so that's way too young.
Extremely way too young.
Everybody say bye, house.
Bye, house. It's just a thing.
Is it becoming a thing now? Yeah, ever since Ciderfest?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting out this year.
Whole weekend. The weekend is over.
We're getting out of here. Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. My friend is standing outside waiting for the shuttle. I gotta go hug him. Going now.
Run. Good to see you, Silver Quill.
Hey, how's everybody?
Good. Tired.
Understandably. So, what, a good weekend?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
I was busy
Are you?
Weekend well off as well?
Yes.
barely had time.
Yeah, we don't. Our flight's not until tonight, so.
That's good to hear, at least. Well, hopefully I can make it to one of your next sets. Hopefully if I'm not a pinball. So hopefully I'm not like a pinball weekend again, but that's just my life right now. I look forward to having you on a future panel again.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome.
What are you guys heading out?
Our flights are not until like late this evening, so we're just gonna hang around here for a little bit and say goodbye to a few people, and then just see what floats our boats.
Yeah.
I'll let you two do your thing. I'm gonna go sit over there with Brittany and John.
All right.
Alrighty.
So good seeing you again, Nami.
Take a sneak.
Yep.
This video?
Key.
You gotta be kidding me. And Luck Rock sent you this?
Yeah.
This is so. I forget. I forget her name. That's.
Oh my God, that is perfect.
So it's about 4:23. We're outside the Hyatt Regency. We're not leaving again, but we've had to evacuate the building because the fire alarms have been triggered for some apparent reason. We don't know. We don't know why, but I hope they get this taken care of, or because in the next hour, because we have to leave in the next hour. But
I'm sorry having PTSD from 13 coins again.
yeah, and damn it.
This is most likely someone probably got stupid and pulled the fire alarm just to be stupid.
Yeah, but there's, who's left to do that though? Unless it's a drill. I mean,
This can't be really a drill because
either way, I hope they get it's taken care of. We were waiting up in the atrium level, just being on our phones, and then all of a sudden we heard sirens going off, and it was the fire alarm. And I was telling Taylor that as we were evacuating, I just had a feeling that something, and here I hear fire engines. I had this feeling that I don't know what gave it to me, but I had this feeling that we may hear those. That I just had the feeling that the fire alarms were in fact going to go off, and they did. In fact, we should probably move out of the way. This is the Central County Fire Department, I believe. Yeah. So I hope they get this taken care of, because in the next hour we need to leave. Yeah, so you're not going to believe this. What we just learned what the cause of it was, and what is it?
a sprinkler head came off.
Where?
Apparently on this, I'm gonna guess on like the second level of the garage here.
In the parking garage. Not even in the hotel. In the parking garage. It set off the entire. It triggered the whole system. That's annoying.
Jesus.
It's
13 coins all over.
It's 13 coins. Sprinklers. Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah. Jesus.
I just want to make you do sprinklers. All right, guys. It is 5:03. We just got our bags, and we're now about to catch the airport shuttle back to SFO. Yeah. So this trip is coming to an end.
Yeah. It's been real, Babs. Thank you all so much for an awesome weekend. I'll see you next year.
Yep, and I hope to come back soon as well. So it's about almost 5:30. I just got checked in. Taylor and I are just waiting around until it's time for him to go. So we're just waiting around before the checkpoint to until it's time for him to start over to his terminal. Yeah. You ready to go?
No.
But then again, when do we ever get what we want?
That's part of the con life. We see each other for a few days and then we have to return to our sad and miserable lives called reality.
Miserable.
But again, it was a fantastic weekend, and post-con depression is going to hit me as soon as I get to my gates.
Yeah.
It hasn't quite sunk in just yet, but it's going to hit me as soon as I get over to Terminal 1 and get to my gates.
Yeah, I just, yeah. Probably once I get home, it's going to. But but honestly, I'm just looking forward to getting back onto my own time. Because I've been exhausted all weekend long, more than any other con that I've been to. I've never felt so exhausted like I have this weekend.
Well, I mean, us doing that Wednesday sightseeing kind of contributed a little bit to that. To that quite a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, Taylor's about to head on over to Terminal 1. I am actually need to head over to Terminal 2 because I'm in a D gate. But yeah, this is Taylor's sign off pretty much.
So long, folks. It's been a fun BABSCon, but I will see most of you in June in Winnie City for deep dish pizza and Portino's.
Portillo's.
Whatever.
Did you? Why do you keep saying Portillo's? And so we bid adieu to the leader of the Glimmer gang.
Yep. And it won't be long till we're reunited once again. About 50 days or so.
Yeah. Blep.
below as you walk on by. I can clear the sky in 10 seconds flat. Well, how about that? Well, how about that? I could be sitting here on a cloud, watching the sun as it starts to go down. The only thing missing is you by my side. Give me a smidge of confidence. Give me a speck of something that makes sense. Give me an idea of dependency. Give me a dash of loyalty. Loyalty. Well, I could sing my lonely soul for you, but the feeling in my heart can't follow through. To me you. That's why they call me loyalty.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is about 7:15 Eastern Standard or Eastern Daylight Time. Excuse me. I just arrived back here in Philadelphia. I am really tired. I need to get my bag downstairs. I also need to get something to eat too. So yeah. So I'll see you guys back home. Hello, friends. It's 1:27 p.m. I just had a nap, and I'm still pretty tired, pretty jet lagged. But I do feel a little bit better than I did this morning. Yeah, I kind of needed that, but you can count on my sleep schedule not being pretty wonky for at least the next week. BABSCon. I had a fun time this weekend. I always have fun going to these things, especially with Taylor being there. My favorite part of the weekend was probably the My Little Match game. Also, of course, doing the tell your tale and Point of Life is Magic. Those are also very fun. I'm happy with the roster of panelists that we had this weekend. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad that this weekend coincided with the finale of the Owl House. Of course, Sarah Nicole Robles was a special guest at BABSCon this weekend. That's a really special thing. I gotta say the finale to the Owl House was absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't seen it yet, please watch it because it is a pretty good way to cap off a really good but really short series after Disney pretty much screwed over Dana Terrence with canceling the show. And it honestly, it deserved more. If you weren't at the screening and missed out on it, you missed out on one hell of an experience. This weekend was, as I said, was a lot of fun. I might be mumbling a little bit because I'm still very, very tired. I'm trying to find the words to really describe this weekend. The next con that we will be at is Winnie City PonyCon in early June, the first weekend of June, in Chicago, in Schaumburg, Illinois. And so I cannot wait to do it again. As I said before, I am looking to actually take a year off from Babs next year so I can take a trip of my own to England, just for sightseeing pretty much. And if that does happen, you can count on me taking me along with you, taking you along with me. Keeping this reasonably short, I just want to say thank you to Taylor for having me as a roommate. Thank you to all my panelists. I don't have a list in front of me, so I'm going to try to remember them by memory. If I forget you, please forgive me, because there's a lot of you. Thanks to I'm going to bring up the list anyway. A very, very special thanks to Lytle the Lemur, Tara Kleisch, the Looney Turtle, Tristan of Step 2 Harmony, Nathan, Iron Captain, Hibiscus, Stitch, Melody Husky, Princess Deadpool, ACLP Films, Gobi Raptor, DeWilstonator, Button, the chair for Everfree Northwest, as well as Whirlwind, Bolt, and Nami, and Joe Scout K9 for joining us. I want to thank the staff of BABSCon for putting on a really good con this year. I understand that there were some issues behind the scenes, but those can be improved on. Overall, it was a good weekend. I just want to say to all my viewers out there and to everyone in attendance of BABSCon, you know who you are. You know what you do. Thank you for watching, friends. This is Red Card signing off for BABSCon 2023. Good night and good luck, and in the immortal words of the cast of the Owl House, bye!